Hey everyone, Vito here, and today we've got Eliana.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So we're gonna be chatting with Eliana, and thank you for coming and giving us the chance to share your experience. We know it's personal, so it's really nice to have someone coming here, and because it helps a lot of people back home to sometimes making decisions based on something that you went through. So it's always nice to hear other people's stories. So you're Italian.
I'm Italian, yes.
Okay. So which city?
I'm from Asti, which is a small city near Turin, not too far from Milan, like 1 hour and a half driving. So
Okay.
yeah.
I've been to Milan, but
Nice.
not that far. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole place.
Yeah, I always have to
yeah.
specify because no one knows.
So how did you always living there, or you moved to?
Yeah,
Turin,
so no, I always lived in Asti. Yeah, and I always had a big dream of moving away though. Initially it was supposed to be just an experience overseas, but then it changed completely, I guess.
So in that, cause I don't know anything about it, so I think perhaps some people they don't know as well. So is it a small city or?
Yeah, it's quite small, but it's 80,000 people living there, so it's not tiny. Yeah.
And then, so what kind of? So usually it's people they go there to study, or what kind of work you have opportunities in there?
Yeah, look, in Italy you don't really have many opportunities, I don't think. That's probably why most people try to go overseas and travel and try to relax somewhere else, because it's just not really easy to pursue your dreams or even just build a career. What you see the most is people that find a job and then they have to stick with it, because it's not easy to just go and find something else and do something else, which is a bit sad, but it's actually the reality. So yeah, I guess I was actually quite lucky, because I started working when I was 15. I was still at school, but I found this job in a store. It was a men's clothing store. And I would go there on the weekend or Christmas holidays, Easter holidays kind of thing. But when I finished school, they offered me a contract full time, and I actually loved the job there. So I took it, and I was pretty lucky because I was doing something that I liked, and I had a pretty good contract, which is something that is very difficult to obtain in Italy. So that was pretty lucky. But yeah, still, I wasn't really 100% happy, I guess.
But then, so you're working there, studying, and then once you finished your studies, that was the time that straight away you decided to go abroad, or you did some work in?
Yeah, no, basically when I was still in school, I thought about doing this, just spending a year in London, because that's usually the first step when you want to experience something different overseas. So initially I thought about going to London, but that didn't work out. And so I was like, okay, that didn't happen. That's fine. I'm going to stay here, whatever. But yeah, then at some point I met a friend that actually spent, I think, a couple of years in Australia. And so he was telling me about that. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. Like, that's probably something I could try. I could start thinking about it. And
was it the first time that you heard about Australia? Or?
Well, it was the first time that I met someone that have actually been there. So that made it a little bit more real. And I thought, well, probably I can have a look, just start my research and see if there's something that could be interesting for me. And actually, yeah, like I started my research, and everything you read about Australia is great. And I can confirm that it is all real as well. So I just started to think that it would have been a great opportunity for me to spend a year overseas, and instead of being London, being something completely different in terms of culture and everything, really, the weather and everything. So I started to do some research on like the different cities, because, you know, at first you think about Sydney, but then Sydney wasn't exactly what I was looking for, because I'm not really into busy, crowded cities. And then I started reading about Brisbane and how the life was basically amazing, yeah. And the weather, where I'm from, it gets pretty cold during winter. So, yeah, Brisbane weather is something that really attracted me. But, yeah, so one day I remember I went to my mom first. I was like, Mom, I think I want to go and live in Australia for a year or so. And she was like, no, that's too far. You can't. Why don't you go to London so I can come visit? And I was like, well, that's the point. I don't want you to come and visit. I just want to spend a year by myself.
You know that's on camera, right? So
yeah, I know. Sorry, Mom. I love you, but yeah, but obviously, as everyone would, I really cared about what my mom thought. So I was like, okay, that I probably went too far. That's probably too much, and I should reconsider. So I kind of gave up. But then in a couple of weeks, I kept thinking about it, like every day, constantly. And so I went back to my mom, and I was like, Mom, let's talk about it again, because I think I'm still thinking about it. So I think I really should do it. And it could be an experience, and then I come back in a year, and, you know, I think it's something I need to do right now. And then she changed completely, and she was like, look, I would never stop you from doing something like that. If that's what you want to do, you have to do it. I'm sure it will be great. And yeah, so from there, I actually started looking into how to move, what were my first steps and things like that. And yeah.
So she probably just want to double check that you really want it, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
Like, no, and then if she comes back.
Yeah,
then,
okay. That's it.
And so was your friend living in Brisbane or no? Because you mentioned you had a friend that was in Australia. And
he was near Melbourne. I think he was more in the farms or somewhere like that.
So you had to research the whole thing about Brisbane by yourself?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, these days you can find anything on Google, and I really dive deep into whatever information I could get to have a proper idea of what I was bringing myself into, I guess. And yeah, everything, the more I learned about Brisbane, the more I thought I had to go, and that it was the perfect city for me. And so, yeah, I just literally decided to just leave everything and go.
And how was your English at the time?
Really bad, really bad. Yeah, and my mom is actually English.
Really?
She's from the UK, but yeah, she never really spoke in English with me and my sister. So we really had a very basic knowledge. From school you learn something, but it's really like the cat is on the table, the cat is under the table, that kind of stuff. So really bad.
And then, so you came, and then did you come with a working holiday visa?
Yes,
or, yeah,
that's it. Yeah. And
then you came straight to Brisbane?
Yes.
Nice.
That's right.
So how was do you remember your reaction when you got here at the airport?
I do. Look, for me, the first few days made me realize that it was really meant to be, because everything was great. Like, there wasn't a second where I thought, what am I doing? Like, I don't know what to do, where to go. It was just meant to be. Like, as soon as you step foot in Brisbane, you realize how people are nice and helpful. And I think they're used to people that don't speak English as a first language as well, but they are so willing to help. I remember being at the airport and having to find my bus, which I booked to get me to my first accommodation. And people literally stopped me to ask if I needed help. And so they helped me to find the place. And yeah, like since then, everything was just smoothly happening, even from bureaucratic things that I think were the things that scare me the most, because I never had to deal with those kind of things even back in Italy, because obviously I was still very young, so I didn't have to worry about certain things. But I had to open a bank account, and that happened very easily. And I don't know how, because now that I think about it, I'm like, I don't even know how I communicated with these people, but somehow it happened. And yeah, everything was just smooth, and I loved the city at first. I remember the first day I arrived at the airport very early in the morning. So then I went straight to my hostel and left the luggage there, and then I went.
Do you remember? Of course you remember, but when was it? Was around?
It was February 2014. Yeah.
Nice weather.
It was beautiful. It was summer. It was a sunny day, of course. And my hostel was near South Bank. So I just went walking, and South Bank was probably the first place I've seen, and it was beautiful with the pool, and it was just beautiful. And then I kept walking, and I went into the city. Just remember long walks those days, but it was just amazing to just discover the city that way. And I just fell in love with the city straight away, really. Like when they ask me how is Brisbane, I just love it so much. I can't say anything bad about it. It's just, I'm in love with the city.
That's right. It's hard to find something that's not positive about Brisbane.
Definitely.
We now even have the Olympics, right? Coming,
yes,
so.
I know. So much happening.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's changing so much as well.
Yeah. It's crazy because, so which year did you get here? When was it?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Because if you see from 2014 to now, it changes every day, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Completely
it's always
different.
Changing. Sometimes you don't go to a suburb for a month, 2 months. When you go back, you're like, how did they change so fast?
That's so true. Yeah. And it's changing for the better, obviously. And everything that they're doing is just to make the city look prettier, but also gives you so much services. And, you also feel like you're paying taxes, but they are used in the right way.
You can see that,
Yeah.
And so when at the beginning, so you're visiting things and walking and knowing the city, and how easy was for you to move around regarding like public transport and stuff in Australia for someone that just arrived and based on what you said, didn't have a good English level. So how was the experience for you?
It was super easy, to be honest. I think we're lucky that we have so much technologies these days, and like even just Google Maps, honestly, you can go anywhere. Obviously, one of the first things I did was to actually buy a SIM card. So I would have some internet to use. But that was it. And then I would just look at the maps and go anywhere. The hostel also gave me, I think, a map of the city, so I can look at that as well. And they suggested a few places to go, but it was really, really easy. And also, you would really meet people in the street. I'm Italian, and I guess it's easy for us to recognize each other. So I would meet Italians and be like, oh, where are you going? Oh, okay, yes, so you have to go this way or that way. And it just, things happen so easily, really.
So let's go with fun first, and then after we go with work. So the fun side. So during the first year, have you had the chance to travel in Queensland, Australia?
Yeah. I've traveled to many places. The first year, I think I went to Melbourne. I think Sydney happened the second year, but Melbourne, Cairns, Whitsundays Island, North Queensland. I don't even remember exactly where else I went, but I remember that I did travel a fair bit, also because I wasn't sure that I was going to stay longer or not. So I wanted to really see a few places before going back in case. And it's also quite easy here to, once you find a job, you earn a decent amount of money, which allows you to pay your bills, but also save a little bit in case you want to travel. So, the first year was actually really good.
And during that time, if you have to, for people who are considering to come to Brisbane and perhaps visit a few places, let's say Queensland. So you went to Cairns.
Yeah.
So, which is amazing if you go there and have the experience. Did you do diving in there? Or?
Yeah. Well, I
was
did
it?
snorkeling, not diving, but yes, and it's amazing. So beautiful.
And so have, during that time, since you got here, did you have the chance to bring your mom to visit you?
Yes, my mom actually came in 2016 or 17. I think 16, yeah. She came, and once she came, she was like, oh, now I know why you never came back. She loved it, of course. She could see how beautiful it is. And yeah, I just obviously took her around, and we went to also like Byron Bay or the Gold Coast. But even just the city, I had to work a few days. So I told her where to go and what to see, and she just loved everything.
So she probably spent hours and hours in South Bank.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And she loves to travel as well. So, you know, she was so into it before. I guess I'm really like her in this. She, before coming here, she already planned every day. She was like, okay, I need to see this and that and that. And I was like, okay, you got it. Okay, I don't need to do anything.
And did you take her to Sydney as well?
No, we didn't go that far because she only stayed for, I think, a couple of weeks. So it's not too much time. And, you know, the trip is really long
Time
as well.
difference and everything, yeah.
So we just wanted to enjoy more here and around here. And just, we did only like day trips, but yeah, we kept it local. So next time she comes, we'll...
So she had the picture with the koala?
She did, she did. She loved it.
That's important,
It is.
See the kangaroos. Yeah. So now on the work side, because you mentioned a few times that, so you had the chance to work, and by working in Australia, you have the chance to, you know, save money to travel and do stuff that you want to do. So on that matter, how was work for you when you arrived? So just to guide you, how you started to the moment that you are right now, so people can see like, okay, I can. So how many things you have to go through to be where you are right now?
Well, I think it's worth mentioning that you need a plan. Like, you don't move overseas without a plan. And like, my plan personally was, I'm going to go there. I actually did an English course the first month. So I went to school for the first month. So knowing that I would have done that, I basically decided that the first month would have been just that, going to school and living the best life kind of thing. And then I gave myself another 2 months after that to actually find a job and, you know, sort things out.
So just, sorry to interrupt. Okay. So just going back to this first month, how important was for you to have this first month with no stress in a way, because you've planned yourself to be here for a month without the pressure of, I need to find a job with 3 days. So how good was for you for the full experience to have this planned month that you had the chance to study every day, right? I think you found yourself in that English environment.
Yeah.
And to, as you said, by being overseas, everything is brand new. So how good was for you to have, how important it is to have this first month well planned for the following time in Australia?
I think it's the best thing you can do, and it's very important because it gives you time to get confident with the language, because sometimes we think we don't know anything, we don't know how to speak English, but once you get into a school like that, you are forced to speak English only, and you speak with people that are not English speaker as well. So you get more comfortable and you just start throwing words out, which is, it's funny, but it's the best way to learn and the best way to feel more confident. So it really helped me a lot in that way. And it's also great to make the first connections. And connections are everything, especially when you do something like that. You just want to meet as many people as you can, because that random person can find you an accommodation. because as I said before, I had like an hostel for the first month, but then I knew I would have to find an apartment, a more proper accommodation, and that's when you need connections. So you need to start knowing different people, and and you can literally through them find a new accommodation, but also a job. And friends, obviously, which is also very important. So I guess it's something that I would recommend to everyone. And it's also great to just live the first month as if it was on holiday, because that gives you also the opportunity to discover the city without pressures and really enjoy it and live it and see if it's the city for you or not. So, yeah, I would.
Because after that would be hard work.
Yes, after that you have to work, and then you travel.
So you're saying before, so how was your second and third month?
Yeah, so the second month was probably, I would say, the hardest in a way, because I didn't find a job straight away. And I would spend every day going around with my resume and literally drop resume everywhere, in every restaurant. Restaurants are probably the one you give all your hopes to, because it's probably easier to get hired in a restaurant rather than other places where you have to maybe talk more in terms of like, your English is still not that good. So hospitality is great to practice. And obviously lots of Italian restaurants. So,
have you had any experience before?
No, but in my resume, yes.
Amazing.
So many experiences. So if you look at my resume at the time, I only work at restaurants and I was a pro. But no, never done it before. So yeah, it was funny in the beginning when they ask you to even just do the most simple thing, which is to carry 3 plates. And I would be like, yeah, of course. And then I would carry it in the most absurd way. And I'd be like, you sure you have experience? Yeah, I do.
I used to do it in a different way.
Yeah, sorry, in Italy it's different. Yeah.
So then you started with hospitality.
I did, yeah. But I literally, when I said it was the hardest, it was because I was getting to the end of that month, which was my due date. I was like, if I don't find a job by then, I have to go back. I can't use all my savings just to live here, because obviously it's quite expensive when you are using a different currency. And then literally it was the last day that I decided, okay, I'm gonna bring my resume around for the very last time. If I don't find a job now, that's it. I'm going back, And that day I found a job. The day I walked into this place in the city, which is like a lunch place. And as a matter of fact, the manager was Italian and the chef was Italian, and
so the place wasn't Italian,
no.
But all the stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And as soon as I walked in, he was like, "Are you Italian?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, me too." Yes.
It's gonna work.
It's gonna work out. So yeah, I was lucky enough that day they actually had me, and they were amazing. I had a great experience. It was hard work. I had to wake up at 5, be there very early to do all the prep. I was a bit in the kitchen and a bit outside, so I had to learn so many things. It was all new for me. It was amazing. It was a great experience. So I never regretted it, and it was just nice meeting them as well.
And it's a great chance, as you said, to meet people and to practice English, because as you said, you came for a year, so you don't know if you're going to stay here for your life time, or if you're going to be here for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, 3 years. So if you go back home, you had the chance to practice as much as you could, right?
Yes.
And meet people from all over the world. And
yes, that's right.
That's one of the good things about hospitality. It's stressful. It's hard work. It's dealing with customs.
It is. I think everyone in their life should try at least once to be a waiter, because you learn so much and you become so much better when you go to a restaurant.
That's true. You behave in a different way when you go to a restaurant.
Yes,
right?
so true.
If it takes, like someone on the table says, "Oh, it's taking so long," you're like,
don't worry about it.
It's okay. We can wait. That's okay.
Exactly.
I know what's happening over there. It's okay. We
Yes,
wait.
so true. Once you know all that is happening at the back of a restaurant, you're like, okay, I respect you so much.
Good, that's fine. I'm okay.
Take all the time you need.
That's true. So when did you move? Did you move away from hospitality
I
at a certain
did.
point?
Yeah. So hospitality was great for what I just said. So like learning English, and also like it was nice to learn a new skill, a new job, and it was a great experience. I met so many people. I changed many restaurants as well, so that wasn't the only one. I only stayed there for a month, I think, and then I kept changing and changing. But it was great. But then after a year, maybe 2 years, which is when I also got the sponsorship, so I started to become a little bit more. I guess I just got into the idea that I was gonna stay longer. That's when I was like, okay, I didn't come on the other side of the world to do a job that I don't enjoy. That was great for the experience and everything, but I was in retail in Italy. I was a store manager in Italy, and I enjoyed that. So I wanted to go back to do that. And that's when I decided to leave hospitality and start a career in retail. And I found a job at Zara. So yeah, I was there for 4 years, which was another amazing experience. And then I just recently changed. And then I'm now working in James Street, which it was actually a dream of mine, because James Street is just this little street with all these boutique stores. And the first time I went there, I was just in love. I was just like thinking, oh, that's my word, you know? I just love it. I love it here. I would love to work here one day. And then this opportunity came and I got it. And yeah, so now I'm in James Street.
So doing what you love, that's good.
Yes.
So you managed to, let's say, change your entire life in 6 years-ish?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. And like, I guess that's the thing in here. Like, you just feel like you can do whatever you like, and whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. And there's opportunities and there's nice people, which is something that is worth saying because it's true. Like, there's so many nice people that can help you on the way and that can help you to get where you want to be. So, yeah, it's just nice to know that you can dream big, I guess.
In that, what's for now that you have the experience back in Italy and in Australia, and then here you got people from all places, so they have different expectations and everything. What's one of the main difference between retail, let's say in Italy, in Australia? What's something that you see in retail here in Australia that you're like, wow, I didn't expect that, or like, oh, that's so nice, that I like that? What's
I think the difference that comes to mind is more in the way you work, or probably in the management. As in Italy, everything is a bit more stressful, and there's a lot of stress from like your boss or whoever is in head office or above you anyway. It's just more stressful. I guess it's also because they know that it's harder in Italy for you to leave. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh, okay, I'm not happy here, I'm leaving. You probably wouldn't do it because it's hard to find something else, and you're going to regret it. And you're like, okay, no, I have to stick here. That's it. But by here, what I found is that everyone is nice. It's just like they respect you. They respect your work. And that's what makes a big difference and what makes people work better. Because I'm working for you, so if you're nice to me, then I guess we're sharing the same goal, and I'm working toward that goal. And yeah, I think that's the main difference.
And the one I believe we all go through some not easy times through the whole experience. How did you find those moments? How easy how difficult it was for you to manage those times to keep going and aiming to achieve your goal and where you wanted?
Well, it's never that easy, but you know, you need to keep going and find your way. I guess I had a pretty tough time, like everyone, last year because of what happened and what's still happening. But it made me realize that I also wanted to do something new and something different. And that's why I actually got into fitness and I started to do a personal trainer course. So I started a completely different, I know, but that's exactly my point, you know, like you can do whatever you want. Like you start to get bored of something, you do something else, you know. I just went through that phase where I was like, am I happy where I am? I was still at Zara back then. And I was like, am I doing what I want? Am I happy? Do I want more? Do I need to try something new? And the answer was yes, I need to try something new. I need to just explore different things, you know, at least to, you know, have more options, I guess. That's when I started to do that. And I actually just finished my PT course. So I'm a PT now. Which is crazy because if you ask my sister, she would tell you that I was never an active person in my life. I used to hate going to the gym or even for a walk or anything like that. But I changed in the last 2 or 3 years. And
so that can be your speech for your clients. So when they come, say, I don't like to go to the gym, it's like,
come to me.
With me.
I'll change your mind.
So now you are managing your time between retail, the job that you always wanted, the location and everything, and being a personal trainer. Yeah,
basically, with the personal training thing, it's still pretty new and I'm taking it very slowly. I still got a lot to learn and my end goal is actually to be a Pilates instructor. So I just finished this course and then I want to do that one. So I'm taking it slowly, just to see what happens. But it's just like a side hustle at the moment and I like it. It's fun. So, yeah.
So you feel like, you've mentioned a bit about it before. Do you feel like it's not easier, but because everything they went through, you feel like you can do those chains in Australia? You can achieve different things?
Yeah.
So you can go through different careers and it's just like, if you want to do it, you can just... So last year, you're not sure, and then now you got a job that you wanted, and then you just finished a course, and then you're looking into doing another course. Because that's not common back home, right? Like
exactly.
you don't do... You usually stay with the same stuff for a while. Yeah,
I think, it really opens your mind to be in a country like this where you do have more opportunities and you just feel like everything is possible and you just do it. And like, you know, when I started a PT course, I didn't think of it as if, I have to do it, I have to then get a job for that. I was like, you know, I'm going to do it. And then if I enjoy it and I want to pursue a career with that, then I'll do it. But maybe it's just something I want to do for myself, for fun, or there's no pressure, you know, because, you know, you can do it and find a job if you want to, but otherwise you can just keep it for yourself as well. But I don't think in Italy I would have done it because it's just like still a lot of money that you invest in yourself in a possible new career. But in Italy you probably wouldn't have... I think you wouldn't think that positive about it. And you'd be like, I'll probably do it for nothing. So I better not doing it all because it's just hard to get into a new career. I think, being in Australia, living in Australia really completely changed me in many ways. And also in a way that I think and also in the way that I decide about what I want to do. I think I'm just more open-minded.
So you think it made you stronger?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
And I believe, during those years, so I think you have been talking to a few friends back in Italy and telling them to come to Australia and travel and...
Yes, to everyone. I'm just like telling everyone to come here because like it's just the best decision of my life. So yeah, I would recommend it to everyone. It's amazing the way it made me feel, the way it made me grow as a woman. It's just like life-changing, really, in all aspects of life. So
based on everything that you went through, for everyone now, that's I try to get that message when we're finishing, so they can take it from someone that had the experience, because it's not, because I remember you mentioned at the beginning, you did your research, right? So you're looking for information, reading everything you can. You've booked your bus from Italy, like, you had everything planned. So it's always nice if you have different channels of information. So if someone back in Italy, they are watching this, they'll be like, oh, that's nice. Like, it's an Italian and she did that and that and that, So they can see themselves doing exactly the same. So good days, bad days, everything they went through. For those people who are watching us and they're now talking to their families, talking to their partners, saying, I think I want to go overseas. I think I want to go to Australia. So what message do you want to leave for them?
Just say, just do it. Because honestly, it can't be bad. Like at the worst, it could be maybe just a 1 year experience, and then, you could decide to go back, but that year will completely change you and change your life, I reckon. But yeah, as we said before, it's just important to plan and not just assume that you go in Australia and everything is easy and you just go there and find a job and live your best life. It's still hard work. And yeah, it's not like 100% easy, but yeah, it's definitely worth it, and I would recommend it to everyone. It's just been the best decision of my life, and yeah, I'm super happy that I took that decision, and I'm really happy about my life right now. And I don't know how many people can say the same, but yeah, it's just something I would do all over again.
That's nice. Look, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. Good on you that you managed to achieve everything that you wanted so far. And it was nice to see what you mentioned, like last year, it was not easy. It's not, it hasn't been easy on everyone. And then you decided to, I think perhaps due to your experience of, challenge everything, like being abroad, you decided to, I have to do something else. So I will study that. And you did that. And you can have now that even as your plan B.
Exactly.
Because the plan A got even better. You got what you wanted before. So that's really nice, because it's good to share good experience and positive, especially right now. So it drives people to achieve things as well.
Yeah, I think in every negative situation, there's always a positive side. So even in this situation, which is the worst all around the world for everyone, I think we still need to be positive and think about what positive things can happen even from there.
Thank you so much. So
thank you.
Thank you guys, and see you guys next time.
Thanks. Bye-bye.